Course 622, Organizational Behavior, is one of the most interesting courses that I've taken thus far. I came in about a week late, so I was scrambling to catch up for the first week, but after I caught my breath, I was actually able to understand and take in a little bit more of the information that was being taught. And the fact that it was a little bit more about psychology in the workplace, it was really applicable for me because this year was the first year that I've ever had to manage other people. And although I only have 4 direct reports, very different personalities. So a lot of these lessons that were taught throughout the different modules thus far, we're only on 7, so 1 more to go. But the different lessons that were taught were actually really helpful in my day-to-day work. Module 1, so comforting employees in time of fear. We luckily have not had any type of real crisis situation. So I haven't had to work with my employees on crisis evacuation, but with having individuals that work at the front desk, we are kind of the first responders. So I've taken an active part in my workplace in creating the crisis communication manual and educating my employees on the importance of knowing those practices and the proper procedures if a crisis situation were to transpire. In Module 2, and this was one of my favorites, and I probably will say this again, but I really did enjoy the fact that we went through and did some of those personality quizzes. In my blog, I had talked about the fact that there was a book called The Treasure Tree. It was something that my mom and I had done together, and it did a little bit of a personality assessment on me when I was 6 or 7 years old. But I had all of my employees and my boss, and he ended up dragging in the IT director as well to take the assessments that we took as a class. And it was kind of cool just to see the different ways that my employees respond to criticism, respond to motivation, different pieces like that. So again, it's been helping me a lot to work with them to A, be a better manager, and B, help them be better employees. In Module 3, again, with the personality assessments, how we had talked about motivation, different types of motivation, I learned a lot about my employees that motivation plus your effort and your skills, that's what equals your performance. So if I'm looking for an increase in performance from some of my individuals that report directly to me, I now know better ways of communicating how I want that to be done. And again, this is my other favorite module, was Module 4 for perception. So I am not always the best at keeping a positive demeanor, or not wearing my heart on my sleeve when I'm upset, or not being too overjoyed when one of my employees does something good. So that one was actually very important for me. It taught me how to be a better manager in the fact that things need to just be kind of an even keel, and the messages that I'm sending could be perceived differently to different employees. So I need to keep that in mind when I am using electronic communication, when I am verbally talking to some of my employees. That's always now in the back of my mind, rather than just assuming that they know what I'm talking about and what my actual message is. In Module 5, organizational ethics. So for utilitarianism, that's kind of where I lie. So if you're bordering on something being ethical or unethical, I always believe that if it's for the greater good, then it's for the greater good. As long as nobody's getting detrimentally hurt in the meantime, for your organization, for yourself, for your loved ones, it's very important to do the right thing always. But at the same time, if you are getting a greater good, if they're profiting from that, then I still defend that kind of a thought process. 6 and 7 were both on the groups and teams. So as I had put in my forum, primary, secondary, formal, informal, heterogeneous, homogeneous, interacting, and nominal, primary, and temporary groups. There's been situations where all of those have been part of my workplace. And that whole module, it showed a big difference between groups and teams. And I'm very fortunate that I am part of a team in my current position. I'm blessed with a strong permanent team. I mean, all of the personality quizzes, it helped not only me help them be better employees, but it also helped me be a better manager. The biggest challenge my team has right now is just that building maintenance of trust. I'm a new manager, so I have a lot of learning to do. And they're a seasoned team. Half of my team have been there over 7 years. They are 50 and up, so they know the ropes. They've been around the block a couple times. So to have me come in and tell them this is what we're going to do now, coming from a lean thinking background, it's hard for them to make some of the changes that I want. So through this course, it's really helped me to communicate better to my employees, to help all of us have high performance goals and actually reaching those goals. I think I've grown in at least my background knowledge now from some of the important pieces of being a good manager. And these topics that we've discussed in class, it's helped me just better work with my team.